Press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Verbal was one part where I was comfortable with, but then still I wasn't very confident with that also. I think I gave around 25 to 30 mocks.
Okay. All right. So, hi guys, welcome to the Real Humans of B School. Today we have Shivangi with us here, who's coming from I am Indore. So, welcome on board, Shivangi.
Hi Anisha, hi everyone.
People who are from similar background like yours and planning to go ahead for IIMs for their MBA, what is it that you would suggest them? Like, what is they should be looking forward to?
In terms of preparation,
Yeah,
so when I was preparing for CAT, there were times when I used to feel really disheartened because I started from a very when I started taking mocks, I started from a very low percentile because I had to do everything from scratch. Like I started with one module and everything was from scratch because 3 years I had no contact with anything related to math. And the majority portion of CAT is quantitative. So I think it was basically through taking mocks, through taking a lot of mocks and analyzing those mocks,
correct.
and basically consistency was the thing. I took a drop year because I knew that if I don't take a drop year and I try to do it alongside my work or alongside my course, I would not be able to do it because I had to completely immerse myself into those subjects that I had lost in touch with. So I took a
Correct.
drop year, I came back to my house and I started preparing, and basically through mocks, and I consistently started preparing from day one. And yeah.
Okay, that's important. Like, the way you mentioned consistency, and yes, coming from your background, quants will be something which is totally new and different. So, we definitely have got to make sure, that we're building quants right from scratch. But what was your final percentile, Shivangi?
It was 94.56.
That's good. So, guys who are listening, she's coming from a BSc history background, which has got no connect to quants or LRDI for that matter. Verbal, I think the only place where you would have felt good would have been passages which are related to history. Did you get those in
Yeah.
that test?
I did not get it, but yeah, I did, like, even philosophy, history. I had a lot of passages in my mock, so I was
Yeah.
really well versed with that. So I used to enjoy reading those. I think verbal was one part where I was comfortable with, but then still I wasn't very confident with that. Also, it's not like I completely ignored that and I was very overconfident. I gave equal time, but I concentrated more on quant when it came to separately solving modules or sections.
Correct. Correct. So, like you mentioned, you had to give more time towards quants and this. So, did you like leave any part of sections, or you made sure you studied all of them right from scratch so that, what was your strategy for the quants attempts in the final exam?
So, like I said, I gave a lot of mocks. So I think when I gave mocks, I realized what were my strengths and weaknesses. Like I knew it from the beginning that geometry and probability is something I just cannot do unless there's some really easy questions or sitters that I can solve in like 10 seconds. Otherwise, I always stayed away from such questions and I concentrated on my strengths. And that is something that I could only learn after giving like 10 mocks.
Yeah.
That okay, these are the questions that I if I spend time I will be able to do it. But if it's a probability question and it's a tough one, I may be spending 5 minutes on it and I would not be able to
Still not
solve
get
it and I would have lost out on so many minutes.
very
So
correct.
I think that's where mocks really helped me.
I think that's a very important point that Shivangi's mentioned, that analyzing your strengths and that you can understand only through giving mock tests. So overall, how many mocks would have you given, Shivangi, for CAT?
I think I gave around 25 to 30 mocks.
That's good. That's really good. So guys, if you're aiming from getting right from scratch, scaling up to getting into IMs, you got to work hard and give 35 to 30, 25 to 30 mocks for sure.
And
Yes.
I think one best advice that I got was, so when initially I started preparing for CAT, I came with the mindset, okay, I'll finish each and every module, then I'll start giving mocks. But then someone told me it would be too late till
Yes.
you finish everything and you'll be confident in each subject and then you go on to the mocks. Even if you've done like 4 or 5 topics in quants, just go in
The mock.
to the mock. Even if you get a low percentile, you'll at least know, okay, these questions that I've done, I'm good with that. Because when you
Correct.
separately solve modules of each subject, of each topic in quant, you feel, okay, I know this. But when you're faced with like a variety of questions in the way the mock is structured, you realize that, okay, maybe I'm not that good at this topic.
That's absolutely true. I think I always tell this that, we have this perception. I'll first prepare completely and then give a mock test.
Hmm.
But trust me, guys, unfortunately, we can never be fully prepared. Even after giving 30 mocks the day before CAT, you still feel, oh, I think I didn't study this, I didn't do that. Right? So you should start giving mocks early. The earlier you give, it's like testing the waters. Even if you get a zero, there's nothing to lose, but you know that I'm at zero, I need to work hard. So that's a very, very valid point that you've mentioned, Shivangi. And like you mentioned, like history and philosophy, what you had studied in your subjects helped you to in this RCs, which is there. So would you suggest for people who are not from your background, like from a general BCom or an engineer's background, should they read kind of articles or stuff on history and philosophy? Do you think that helps to make RC better?
I mean, it definitely helps if you have a context of what you're reading, because if someone who's never heard about any of these philosophers would read what they're saying, they might be a little confused. I'm not saying that it's a must, but yeah, it does help. Like, I think one of my professor, like the my coaching institute, told me this book. It's called Sophie's World. It's a really short book which explains all of these philosophers learning in a really concise and easy way. So I think I read that also, but I read that just for fun. It didn't help me in my CAT preparation, but yeah, it would help if someone needs some background and is not very comfortable with
The whole
topics
philosophy.
related to philosophy.
Very true. Yeah, because I think sometimes it does scares people, who are not from this background to read something philosophical. It just goes over your head. So getting a little context definitely will add value and weightage towards that. That's good. So Shivangi, if when you had like the last couple of months to go, so what were you doing at that time? Were you learning new stuff then? Like quants, you mentioned geometry, probability was a little tough. You never got the
Hmm.
best out of it. So what do you suggest? The last few months, should you keep learning new things, or you should just focus on building your strengths and maximizing the scores?
So I think in the last few months, was just focused on, like, I cannot emphasize enough how much these mocks helped me, because I was just giving mocks in the last few months, and I had actually, you have this option of bookmarking questions, that because there were some questions that I, after my mock, which I couldn't attempt, and I felt that even if this question comes next time, maybe I would not be able to get it even that time. So I bookmarked
Yes.
those questions and I used to go over those questions, because there are some techniques that only when you do
Hmm.
such questions repeatedly, that technique will get ingrained in your mind. It won't get
Correct.
ingrained just because one time you'll see the solution. So I bookmarked those questions and I used to go over those questions just in case if that technique helps me in my CAT exam.
Amazing. That's really good. That's a very good advice, guys. Just remember that you have to always revise your mocks as well. So even if you have given them, bookmark them. I mean, like she mentioned, the ones which you've not solved and do those. I think even for the questions which you probably solved and were very different, and maybe if the solution had a different outlook towards it, you should review and revise them as well, because you could save time. Maybe there was a question which you did in 2 minutes, and if there was an approach which you later realized can be done in a minute's time, I think that 1 minute is very precious in the whole exam overall.
Yeah, definitely this helped me, because like I wasn't used to solving something so quickly, like doing mental calculations. So
Yeah.
I was very slow with my, even if I knew a topic, I was very slow while solving it also, because I
Mm.
would take this long way of solving it, and when I used to look at the solution, that would be a two liner solution that they
Correct.
would have solved. So again, that would really help me when I would analyze the mock later, even the solved ones.
Interesting. That's very good. So like the core crux lies in analyzing and learning and improving from those mocks. I mean, not just analyzing and letting it go. But so what was like your mock scores and your actual scores? Were they similar? Like, do you think you were at par with what you did in your mocks, or you did better?
I think I did much better because my mock score for was it changed completely from the day I started till my, I think, last mock that I gave. So last 2 weeks I didn't give any mocks. I was just revising and preparing. Last 2 weeks of my before my CAT exam, I didn't want to um bog myself down if I don't get a good score, because then that there would be a lot of pressure on me. Okay, I did not do well on the mock, probably I won't do well in the CAT exam. So I refrained from taking any exam in the last 2 weeks. But I started with like a 50 percentile when I started giving taking my mocks, and then I think in the end I touched 95, 96 as well. So when the first time when I touched 90, I was elated that okay, yeah, I can do it, because there were times during my preparation where I felt that maybe it's not my thing, that there's a reason that people from my background don't pursue MBA, that it is tough. But then there was slight bit of improvements in my percentile, but that was really motivating.
That's
Sometimes it,
good.
it stagnated when I reached an 80. It was really hard for me to go in my mocks to go from an 80 to 90, but when I was able to achieve that, I was really happy.
That's lovely. That's really important. And I'm sure I think everybody reaches a stagnation point in your preparation, but it's required that you still keep going. Don't give up at that
Mhm.
point of time, because many a times we give up then and everything is just lost. So, that's very important. Shivangi, like you mentioned, at this point of time, you did feel a stagnation and wanting to give. Did you ever feel this in your full 1 year of MBA as well because of too many different things coming on to you?
Yeah, definitely. There, like I remember in the first 3 4 months, I used to call my mom and say that I think I've made a mistake. This is just not for me. This is too much. But I think at that time I was just very anxious, because there were so many people who was good at so many things, and I was just under so much pressure that if I will be able to even understand these subjects. Like I went into an MBA not knowing the difference between asset, liability, what is a balance sheet. Everything was from scratch. But here, like I said, that pure learning, and I formed a study group, and that really helped me. And even the professors
Lovely.
actually were really helpful. Like I had one subject in statistics, and my professor knew that I'm from like a completely different background. So professors are helpful, that they would sit after class, they would solve your doubts.
Oh, that's lovely. That's really good to have a good support system wherever you are, whichever be school. Have good friends. It's always good that, if
Yes.
you have smart peers, you'll automatically become smarter. If your peers are going to be like, give up, then even you'll give up. So that's
And I think the
very important.
best thing about MBA is that most of the projects that we get are also
Group
in a
work.
group. Most of them are group projects, so you get to learn so much from others as well.
That's very true. That's lovely. That's interesting. So that's good, Shivangi. If you were to give, like, two main things for anybody who's starting their preparation for CAT, what would you suggest them?
Firstly, I would say that like I said, give a lot of mocks. Mock scores don't matter. Um, just keep taking mocks, because they will gradually improve. And secondly, the most important, if someone is from my background, I would say that even if you start something from scratch, gradually you will get better at it.
True. That's lovely. That's, I'm sure, anybody who's watching us who's coming from a different background, maybe not BSc history or something like even the others, like you have physics, chemistry, and all of them. For all of you, it's going to be the starting from scratch, right? So take that plunge. Don't hold yourself back, because there are a lot of opportunities ahead when you get inside an MBA. And I'm sure you never felt that way, that like, I will get lesser opportunities than the others while you were getting your placements and group projects and stuff, right?
Yeah, actually, one thing is that I sat for 2 interviews during my summers, and on my resume there was this one part about the projects that I had done in my college level related to history, and
Right.
every other interviewer used to ask me about my project. So that was one talking point that I had in every interview, that I was talking about the research projects that I had done. So actually, it's a good thing that it differentiates you.
Correct.
Sometimes I used to really curse it, but it's actually a good. There's a silver lining to it as well.
Absolutely, definitely. And I think I'm not sure, Shivangi, you realize this or not, but at a 94 percentile, if I go talk to an engineer, he'll not get I'm indoor. It's because you are from a different background, you get diversity, and being a girl, you get that advantage. So, guys who are all from this different background, if there's 1% of also, your interest that you want to do an MBA, just go for it. Don't be scared of that. It's not that scary an exam.
Yeah.
Great. So thanks, Shivangi. That's really great.